Rose works as a nurse in a hospital and earns a modest income. She often tells her best friend that her monthly salary is not enough to support her mother and younger siblings. Her late father left a large debt that adds to the burden. On payday, she goes to the ATM to withdraw her salary, but the money is missing. While checking her balance, a man ambushes her and tries to rob her. He nearly assaults her before a visitor intervenes. Shaken by the incident, Rose begins to consider finding another job with higher pay. After a period of searching, she secures work as a private nurse in another city. The salary is enough to cover the family debt. She tells her mother and siblings that the job is temporary until the debt is settled. Her mother asks her to stay safe and gives her a bracelet made from wild plant seeds, believed to bring good fortune in times of trouble. 15 hours later, Rose reaches a small village far from the city. Soon a woman named Mabeth arrives to take her to the house where she will work. The house is deep in a forest, an hour's drive from the village. They arrive at a secluded property that was once a luxury resort. The patient is Mr. Peter, an elderly man who lives on his pension after being cheated by his manager. He stays there with Mabeth, who helps with his daily needs. She is now alone in the forest. This is Isolated. Mabeth shows Rose to her room and explains that Mr. Peter suffers from dementia. He needs help with eating, bathing, and cleaning. Mabeth says she serves him out of gratitude because he was once a kind and generous man who helped many people, including her. Mr. Peter spends most of his time in bed. Because of his condition, he rarely speaks and gives no response when Rose introduces herself. As night approached, Mabeth prepared to leave and handed Rose a pistol for protection, explaining that the isolated house and surrounding forest could be dangerous. After Mabeth left, Rose changed into her nurse's uniform and slid the pistol under a chair. When darkness settled, she stepped outside for fresh air and wandered around the property, unaware of the shadow moving silently behind her. The next morning, Rose began her duties and prepared breakfast for Mr. Peter, who sat staring without expression. He ignored the meal and focused instead on the yogurt drink she had brought from the city. Rose mentioned that it was a favorite she often enjoyed with her mother and 2 younger siblings. Late that night, after finishing her chores, Rose sat by the swimming pool and smoked a cigarette she had brought from home. Without warning, a mysterious woman surfaced from the pool and approached with a terrifying face. Startled, Rose ran back to her room and tried to convince herself it was a hallucination triggered by the cigarette. The disturbance continued, and the figure seemed to follow her. Deciding the cigarettes were making things worse, Rose threw them away in the yard. She then went straight to Mr. Peter's room to check on him. The following morning, she again prepared his breakfast. While feeding him, she spoke about her mother's love of nature and plants. Rose explained that her own name came from a flower. Her mother knew which plants were safe and which were poisonous, and Rose thought her mother would be happy in a home surrounded by forest. That night, Rose took a shower and once more sensed the same figure. She stepped out to investigate and found a trail of wet footprints leading outside. As she followed the tracks, the figure suddenly appeared and ran toward her. Rose woke up in bed, realizing the vision was only a dream brought on by the strong cigarettes from the night before. She pushed the memory aside and went to Mr. Peter's room to prepare his breakfast, where he was already waiting and clearly hungry. He seemed stronger and began to talk, leading to a long conversation about their lives. Later that night, before bed, he asked her to bring a photo album from his youth. One picture showed his strict mother, whose harsh treatment forced him to persevere and shaped his quiet strength. From those years, he developed a special fondness for the owl, a symbol of silence and hidden power. After putting Mr. Peter to sleep, Rose returned to her room for her nightly shower. Suddenly, the terrifying figure appeared again outside the window. This time she felt anger instead of fear. She grabbed the pistol Mabeth had given her and stepped outside to confront the intruder. The yard was empty. Rose checked the area and found nothing. She went back to her room and lay on the bed. Moments later, a hand reached out from under the mattress. Startled, she ran to Mr. Peter's room and locked every door, certain that someone dangerous was inside the house. She told Mr. Peter to stay quiet and try to rest. When daylight came, Rose woke Mr. Peter and explained that an intruder might still be nearby. She planned to reach the main road for help and asked him to wait. As she crept outside, a mysterious man appeared and chased her. He caught up and struck her, knocking her unconscious. Rose woke tied to a chair. The man said he meant no harm. He claimed he was searching for his girlfriend, Anna, who had worked as a nurse in the house and had been missing for a month. While he spoke, someone struck him from behind. The attacker was Mr. Peter. Night fell and the situation changed. The man was now tied up while Mr. Peter sat calmly in a chair. Still desperate to find Anna, the man asked Rose to get his phone and check a photo of his girlfriend. Rose was shocked to see that the ghostly figure haunting her looked almost identical to Anna. Believing the man's story, Rose reached for her pistol, but it was already in Mr. Peter's hand. He watched her with a cold smile. The truth emerged. Mr. Peter had never suffered from dementia. He lived with a severe mental disorder. He spoke about Anna as his favorite nurse, praising her beauty and kindness, but said she sometimes reminded him of his abusive mother. That memory triggered violent urges. He admitted to killing Anna. The confession did not stop there. He revealed that Anna was only one of many victims. Dozens of nurses had been sent to the house over the years, each murdered in a different way. Rose realized she was trapped with a killer. Peter explained that his madness grew from years of abuse. As a child, he was treated like an animal, chained and locked in a basement without food. Over time, he lost all sense of guilt and became capable of murder. The man searching for Anna kept shouting for her to be returned. Annoyed, Peter shot him dead.
Ilabas mo si Ann! Gusto mong sama kita! Magsama na kayo!
Rose seized the moment and ran for the forest. Peter put on his owl mask, showing his true nature as a predator. He climbed into his off-road vehicle and chased her. With night vision goggles, he easily spotted her behind a tree. Screeching like an owl, he struck her and knocked her unconscious. Rose woke tied to a table while Peter prepared to harm her. After a long stare, he decided he liked her more than the others and delayed the execution, planning to keep her alive for a few days. The next morning, Peter asked Rose to prepare his breakfast as usual. She cooked under pressure and worked without care. When the meal was ready, he ate greedily and asked for his favorite yogurt drink. Rose tossed it across the table, an act that angered him. Her defiance pushed Peter to act. He decided to kill her immediately. Before he could move, he began to cough violently. Earlier, Rose had spoken about her mother's knowledge of plants, explaining how some were poisonous. The bracelet her mother gave her was made from the seeds of a wild plant that turned deadly when ingested. Rose had slipped those seeds into his breakfast. Peter collapsed and lay helpless. At that moment, the ghost of Anna appeared and guided Rose to a hidden room. Inside, she found the bodies of Peter's victims, each stored in a glass box and frozen. Shaken, Rose searched Peter's bedroom for proof of his crimes. She uncovered newspapers filled with missing person reports and wanted posters for a serial killer. A tablet held video recordings that revealed hidden cameras in every bedroom. The final discovery was about Mabeth, the woman who had brought Rose to the house. She was Peter's wife and had secretly supported his violence. When Mabeth arrived, Rose confronted her and aimed the pistol. As Mabeth reached for a weapon in her bag, Rose fired and killed her.
Ito ba yung asawang sinasabi mo? Hindi ka dapat kaawaan. Maawa ka! Maawa ka!
Later, Rose received medical care at a nearby hospital. A police officer confirmed the evidence from the scene. Peter was identified as a serial killer long sought by Interpol. He had taken many lives over the past decade and was known for his intelligence and resilience. Yet his body was never found, and his location remains unknown. So the moral of the story is never trust a job posting that comes with free forest lodging and a helpful stranger, and always listen when your mom gives you a lucky bracelet, because plant power beats serial killers every time.